So this is my diverter kit I bought from Forge. I think I bought it off of eBay. It comes with your diverter valve cap, which goes inside of the diverter valve. Then you have the spring, which I chose the higher spring so I can run higher pounds of boost. This goes on there. I have this, but I already have one on the car because I'm running a catch can. I have this cap on the car that runs to my boost gauge. I will be putting another nipple on there because I have extra nipples that came with this. This is just capped off because this used to run to a PCV line, but since I put the catch can on, it's deleted that PCV line. So I'm going to be putting an extra nipple from this, and I will not be using this piece. The kit comes with a vacuum block, which I believe is the same one that is on my turbocharger. You see it has an Audi part number. And I also have an adapter that plugs into your stock diverter clip. I have this bracket that's supposed to mount onto the diverter block, and I have the clip that was for that, but I'm not using that. So first I'm going to need to get the old diverter off with my diverter valve spacer so I can put the new Forge valve on. So this is the diverter I was running before. I was just running a basic Amazon diverter valve spacer. This new one should sound a lot better than what the original one would be. This is just a basic Amazon spacer. This will run more efficient because it runs off a vacuum. This just runs off the stock diverter valve, which didn't have as much quality, and that's kind of melted around there. So that should run better than what the stock one did. I'll get that installed. So the diverter piece goes right here with the spring, which I'm running, the blue spring, which is the higher boost that came with the kit. The cap just goes right on top. Screws on there. Won't be using this piece because I already have the cap on the intake. I'll be putting this on with the adapter clip that plugs into, I think it's a stock turbo vacuum block. So I'll get this installed. So the new diverter just sticks in here where the old diverter used to be, and put in the screws, and I'll tighten those down. Okay, now that's on, I'm going to be installing the vacuum block. So I got the bracket and the screw. I'm going to put it right here. I took the screw off for this fuel rail, so I'll just put this here, then I'll run the vacuum lines to the Forge valve. Now it's time to install the vacuum block. I'm only going to be able to use one screw because the other one doesn't line up through the hole for some reason, but that'll work, just got to get it real tight. No! I dropped it in the abyss. Uh-oh, there it is. Got it. Let's go. Okay, so vacuum block's on, now time to plug in the adapter. The adapter plugs into this side, and the clip goes in like this. Now I plug in the clip. Now it's time to install the vacuum lines. Now I'm going to connect the metal end of the solenoid to the bottom of the diverter valve. Next I'm going to run a vacuum line from this nipple all the way to the nipple on the intake. Now I'm going to run a vacuum line from this end on the vacuum solenoid all the way to the top of the diverter valve. Once you get all the lines installed, make sure you have everything is secure, make sure all the lines are plugged in properly to the vacuum block, plugged in properly to the diverter valve itself. Make sure your clip connector is connected right. Now I'm going to hop in, start it, see how she sounds. Now the car had a little bit of turbo flutter. I think that's just the way the valve works because I make sure everything is plugged up properly. Everything's working right. I don't lose any boost while driving. It has a little bit of turbo flutter, but I guess that's just the way the valve is. Like and subscribe and follow as I build and drive my Mark V GTI.